Ceres, Pluto, Makimake, Haumea, and Ceres. These dwarf planets.
Okay, so what are the 5 dwarf planets, children? What are the 5 dwarf planets? We have Ceres,
Makimake,
okay, Makimake, Haumea, Ceres, and Pluto. Okay, so before Pluto was one of the 9 planets. Okay, was one of the 9 planets. But now she was removed from the 9 planets. We only have 8 planets, right? So Pluto now belongs to the dwarf planets, children.
Haumea, and Ceres. These dwarf planets are much smaller than the Earth. Here's to the Earth. Except for Ceres, which is found in the main asteroid belt, these dwarf planets are located beyond Neptune in the Kuiper belt. So how's a dwarf planet different than a regular planet? According to the IAU, a planet is first a celestial body that orbits the sun. 2, has enough mass to assume a hydrostatic equilibrium. In other words, a nearly round shape. And 3, has cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. A dwarf planet has satisfied 1 and 2, but does not have the mass to clear its neighborhood of all the objects by either collision, capture, or gravitational disturbance. Ceres, which is found in the asteroid belt, is smaller than the Earth's moon. It is heavily cratered and has large amounts of ice underground. Ceres does not have a moon. Pluto was the first large object discovered in the Kuiper belt and was considered a planet for many years. Pluto is 39 astronomical units from the sun. Compare this to Ceres, which is only 2.8 AUs away from the sun. Pluto has 5 moons, and here's its size again compared to the Earth. Makimake is located in the Kuiper belt, and it may have 1 moon. They're not really sure. Here its size compared to Pluto. Also in the Kuiper belt, and it has a distinctive egg shape because it rotates or spins so rapidly. It has 2 moons. Ceres has a diameter slightly smaller than Pluto, but it's the most massive of all the dwarf planets. It is found on the edge of the Kuiper belt. At times, Ceres will be almost 3 times further away from the sun as Pluto. Ceres was considered a 10th planet by NASA until August of 2006, when the IAU defined it as a dwarf planet. Ceres has 1 moon. So there we go, the dwarf planets. Thanks for watching. Moo Math uploads a new math and science video every day. Please subscribe and share.
So we're going to have another one about video about the 5 dwarf planets, children. So we're going to have another one. Let's see the planet song. Okay, so we have just a moment. We're just going to remove this one. Dwarf planets. Okay, so here we go, children. So moment, this one, Dwarf Planets. Okay, so we're going to have this one, the longer version. Dwarf Planets. Okay, just a moment, I will just going to show you. Can you see my screen, children? Can you see my screen? Okay, great.
Yeah.
It's Christmas, and I'm going to be good. I'll be good, I'll be good. Put me on your list. I don't want to be missed when you bring your gifts. I'll be good.
This one is for Sophia. Sorry, children, that's one. Sophia, that is your song.
Thousands of years ago, ancient astronomers looked up at the sky and realized that some of the things they thought were stars were moving in ways they didn't expect. They called these errant objects planets, a word that means wandering stars. 5 of these objects, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, were identified and named in ancient times. Through the centuries, the tools astronomers used to study the skies became better: Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. However, as astronomers continued to study the outer reaches of, they came to a startling realization. Pluto wasn't alone in the space beyond Neptune. As more and more objects were discovered near Pluto that were close to Pluto in size, astronomers realized that they couldn't all. Something had to be done. In 2006, the International Astronomical Union created a new category, Dwarf Planets. For an object to qualify as a dwarf planet, it only had to meet 2 criteria. 1, it must orbit around the Sun. 2, it must be massive enough for its own gravity to pull it into a spherical or mostly spherical shape.
Okay, so children, so we have here, okay, listen. So Pluto before was removed from the 9 planets because it did not pass the requirements for being a planet. Now, so they have a 2 criteria for the dwarf planet. So for the first one, it orbit around the sun. Okay, it goes orbit around the sun, and then for the second criteria, it should be spherical in shape. Okay, it should be spherical in shape. Okay, so now, aside from Pluto, there are other small dwarf planets. What are they? So we have here.
It must be massive enough for its own gravity to pull it into a spherical or mostly spherical shape. Planets had a third qualification they had to meet. They must have cleared their orbits of other objects. Since dwarf planets often share their orbits with asteroids, comets, debris, and even other dwarf planets, this third point made it easier to tell the difference between a planet and a dwarf planet. There are currently 5 officially recognized dwarf planets in the solar system: Ceres, Pluto, Ceres, Haumea, and Makimake.
Okay, so aside from Pluto, we have another dwarf planets. We have the Ceres. What else, children? Makimake. Makimake or Makimake. Sometimes they pronounce this one as Makimake or Makimake. It can be. So we have Pluto, Aries, and then Haumea, and then the other one. Pluto, Makimake, Makimake, Haumea.
Ceres.
Okay, Ceres. Okay, so we have 5 dwarf planets.
Discovered first in 1801. That's because Ceres is located in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, making it easier to use the telescopes of the time, and the only dwarf planet in the inner solar system. When it was discovered, Ceres was heralded as the 5th planet from the Sun, put to the 6th position.
Okay, so before we
This
said
new-
Ceres. Ceres was one of the 6 planets from the Sun. Okay, but then, here we go.
Order only lasted a year before another new planet was observed near Ceres, then another, then another. Within a few decades, dozens of new objects have been discovered. By the 1850s, astronomers decided enough was enough and reclassified all of the objects in the asteroid belt, including Ceres, as minor planets. Following the IAU's decision in 2006, Ceres was reclassified again as a dwarf planet. It is the largest object in the asteroid belt and contains 25% of the asteroid belt's mass. It completes one rotation every 9 hours and one orbit around the Sun every 4.6 years. Ceres has no moons or rings, but it does have a very thin atmosphere, which contains traces of water vapor. It is the smallest of the recognized dwarf planets, with a diameter of 590 miles or 950 kilometers. Ceres became the first of the dwarf planets to be visited by a spacecraft when the Dawn space probe entered its orbit on March 6, 2015. Pluto is the largest and most well-known dwarf planet. It was regarded as the 9th planet from its discovery in 1930 until its reach. Pluto is small and made of rocky ice, and it rotates slowly with a day that is 6.4 Earth days long. Because it is usually farther from the Sun than Neptune, it takes 248 years for it to complete a single orbit around the Sun. Pluto has a thin atmosphere made of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide. Like Ceres, Pluto has no rings. Unlike Ceres, Pluto has 5 moons, including Charon, which is so large that Pluto and Charon are sometimes called binary or double dwarf planets. Pluto was visited by the New Horizons spacecraft in July of 2015, capturing stunning images of the former planet and raising new questions about the composition and structure of this cold and distant world. Eris was named for the Greek goddess of discord and strife, which is fitting since the discovery of Eris is what prompted arguments about Pluto's status as a planet. When it was discovered in 2005, NASA initially called Eris the 10th planet, but discoveries of multiple other large objects in the area caused them to reconsider. Eris is slightly smaller than Pluto, but it is estimated to be more massive, and it is believed to be covered with methane ice. It has one known moon, Dysnomia. Eris and its moon are 2 of the most distant known objects in the solar system, traveling much farther from the Sun than Pluto does. It is estimated that Eris will take 558 years to complete one orbit around the Sun. The discovery of another dwarf planet, Haumea, was announced in 2005. Unlike the rest of the dwarf planets, Haumea is oblong instead of shaped like a ball. Haumea appears to have water ice on its surface, and is one of the fastest spinning large objects in the solar system, completing a turn once every 4 hours. Its orbit is only a little longer than Pluto's, taking 284 years to travel once around the Sun. Haumea, named for the Hawaiian goddess of fertility and childbirth, has 2 known moons. The moons, Hayaka and Namaka, are named for two of the goddess's daughters. The fifth and final dwarf planet currently recognized is Makimake. Makimake was also discovered in 2005 and was named for the creator god in the mythology of the Rapa Nui people of Easter Island. Like the other dwarf planets of the Kuiper Belt, Makimake is covered in ices, made of methane, ethane, and possibly nitrogen, although its diameter is only about 2/3 of Pluto's. This makes it the second brightest object in the Kuiper Belt, after Pluto. In 2016, it was discovered that Makimake has at least one moon, which is as yet unnamed. Astronomers believe that there are hundreds of objects in the solar system that are likely to be dwarf planets. As scientists continue to study them, it is likely that more and more will be added to our list.
Okay, so children, did you understand what you have been watching? Yes or no? Did you understand? Lau?
Yes.
Oh, focus one just said yes. How about the others?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you sure? Okay, so children, okay. So we're going to go back. Do you want me to replay again?
Up to you.
Okay, this one is a little bit. Okay, so we're just going to have how does dwarf planets. Okay, so we're going to have the introduction first of the dwarf planets. It was called as the dwarf planets. And then why again? I want Dr. Binox. Dr. Binox. So that was the discovery of the dwarf planets. When are they discovered and why? Why are they become the dwarf planets? Okay, so anyway, I think I need to show more. Just a little bit, children. Just a moment, just a moment. Okay, so dwarf planets are celestial body resembling a small planet but lacking certain technical criteria that is required to be such a planet. Okay, so they did not pass for being a planet. That's why they are the dwarf planet. Okay, so could you please give me can you please name one of the dwarf planet? Anybody? Anybody?
Pluto.
Pluto. What else? What else? What else, children?
Makimake.
Makimake or the Makimake. What else?
Ceres.
Ceres. Great job. What else? What else? Oh, we have Pluto, Ceres, Makimake or Makimake. And then what else?
Humus.
Haumea. That's Haumea. And then the other one? Iris. Iris. Okay. So we have one more. Okay. So Ceres was discovered in 1801. Okay. While Pluto was discovered in 1930. Year 1930. And Iris was discovered last 2005. And Haumea was discovered in 2004. 2004. And Makimake or Makemake was discovered in 2005. Okay. So we still have some dwarf planets named Gonggong, Quao, just a moment, I don't know how they pronounce this one, and Orcos and Salasha. Okay, but then we only have the 5 planets, known 5 planets, children. Okay, so we're going to have first Pluto. What does Pluto looks like? Okay, so for the facts for Pluto. Okay. So just a moment, children. We're just going to take one video at a time. Because if I'm just going to tell a story, We're just going to discuss. You will not going to understand it. Okay. So we're going to have Dr. Binox. We're going to watch why Pluto was removed from the 9 planets and why Pluto becomes a dwarf planet. Okay, so just a moment, I will just going to share you my screen, children. And then after that one, we're going to have the 4 dwarf planets one by one. This one has, okay. Can you see my screen? Not yet, right?
And comprehension.
I'm
There are
sorry.
hundreds of stories to choose from, and all
So we're going to have Dr. Binox. Next, Dr. Binox.
Are you ready for the ultimate million-dollar question, little kitty? Now, tell me, which is the smallest planet in our solar system?
Pluto.
Well, I'm sorry, kitty, but Pluto is the wrong answer. Well, that's undoubtedly a million-dollar question. Hey, friends, a lot of us grew up reading about the old 9 planets. But later, Pluto was delisted from its status, generating mass confusion about its identity. So, in today's episode, let us explore the reason behind Pluto's planetary fate and answer a fascinating question. Why is Pluto not a planet anymore? Zoom in! Until the year 2005, every school science book taught us that there are 9 planets, namely Mercury.
So before, children, before you know Pluto as one of the 9 planets, right? And until now, do you still know that Pluto is one of the 9 planets? Children, someone answer me, because last time I asked you about the planets in the solar system, and someone, and then I told you, I answered you, I replied you that Pluto is not one of the 9 planets anymore, and it belongs to the dwarf planets. Why? Okay, so why?
Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and of course, Pluto, which was the smallest amongst all.
That was before.
This celestial body was discovered in 1930 by an American, Clyde Tombaugh. And since then, everything was a smooth
Okay, so before children, we know that there are 9 planets and Pluto was the smallest, right? And then all of a sudden, Pluto was removed from the 9 planets. The 9 planets becomes 8 planets because Pluto did not pass the requirements of being a planet. Why?
sale for students across the world. But on a warm day in August 2006, few scientists gathered at the International Astronomical Union in Paris and astounded the world by declaring Pluto as not a...
Okay, so what happened, children? So in 2000, what year is that? What year is that, children? That Pluto was declared as not one of the 9 planets? In 2006. Okay, 2006, Pluto was announced that it is not a planet. It is not a planet. Why? Okay, so we're going to move on.
After hearing this startling news, the educational unions took notes and changed the matter in the textbooks. But the vital question is, why did the scientist community take its title of a planet? Well, according to IAU, for a celestial body to be a planet, it needs to fulfill 3 essential criteria. First,
Okay, so children, so according to the IAU, it should be, the planet should be passed as a planet if they have to require they have to pass the three criteria. Okay, so the first, the object should revolve around the sun. So Pluto can revolve around the sun. Yes, it can, children. So with the 8 planets, they can revolve around the sun because they have their own orbit, right? Okay, so Pluto passed that one, the first one.
Object should revolve around the sun. Second, the object should be spherical in shape. And thirdly, the
Okay.
area
So second, it should be spherical in shape. Pluto passed that requirement. But children, we have the third criteria, which is the area around its orbit. This one.
around its orbit should be clear and should not have any equivalent or a bigger celestial body.
Okay. So the third criteria, the orbit should be clear. It can clean, okay? It should be clean. And there is no any other bigger celestial body. And that's where Pluto did not pass. The third requirement, the Pluto did not pass. That's why they removed Pluto from the 9 planets. Can you understand?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great.
Meaning, with the
You
help
see?
of its gravity, the planet should clear asteroids and dwarf planets out of its way. I know what you are thinking. Isn't Pluto spherical and revolves around the
Okay,
sun?
it passed the 2 criteria.
Yes,
This is why.
Pluto does fulfill these 2 conditions.
Mhm.
But in the late 90s, space scientists found out that it doesn't meet the third criteria as it hasn't cleared the neighborhood objects around its orbit, because of which it can't be called a planet and was downgraded the status of Pluto to that of a dwarf planet. But Pluto isn't the only one to be called a dwarf planet. Yes, in the Kuiper belt near Pluto, scientists found 2 planets, namely Haumea and Makimake, which were just like Pluto. Not only that, but in 2005, the explorers also discovered Ceres, which looked big to itself. All these newly found space objects acted like Pluto, but were nowhere similar to other planets in the solar system. So that's when the IA checklist.
Okay, so children, so the dwarf planets are the planets that did not pass for the criteria for being the 8 planets in the solar system. Why? Because they cannot clean their orbit like Pluto. Okay? Do you understand me now? They revolve around the sun, yes. They have their own orbit, yes. But they cannot clean their own orbits. Do you understand me, children?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the reason why Pluto was removed from the 9 planets. Now we're going to have the characteristic or the facts about Pluto as the dwarf planet. And then we're going to have Makimake and then the other dwarf planet. Okay. So if I am too fast, just tell me, children. Okay. So we're going to have Pluto. Okay. Pluto. Okay. Where do we have to put this one? Dwarf planet facts. Okay, so we're just going to have this one, Pluto, the first one. Okay, just a moment. Then we're going to move on to the 4 dwarf planets later. We have to go first with Pluto. Go.
Hey, toy timers.
Hey, Tommy Dog!
Let's go. Let's learn about planets and objects in our solar system. Which planet or object will this be?
Pluto.
Whoa, cool! Pluto! When Pluto was discovered in 1930, it was classed as a planet.
Oh, cool.
But then in 2006, scientists reduced it down to a dwarf planet.
Oh, man.
Do you think Pluto should be a planet?
Yes.
Not you? Let us know in the comments below. Pluto is very small and is actually
Okay.
smaller than our moon.
Okay, so one fact about Pluto. Pluto is very small, and it is smaller than our moon, children. So before, when Pluto was one of the 9 planets, it is the smallest planet. But now it was removed. Because it was removed in 2006. Okay, so it is smaller than our moon. So Pluto is very small, children. Not unlike the other planets.
Only around 70% of our moon's diameter.
Maybe 70% only.
In fact, Pluto is only half as wide as the USA.
See? Half as wide as the USA. So this is the USA. So it is just a half wide of the USA. So Pluto is not too big.
Pluto is thought to consist of rock with a very thick layer of ice on top.
Okay. So before they thought that Pluto consists of rock. Okay, with very thick layer of ice on top. Okay, rock and ice, the combination of rock and ice, children.
However, you couldn't go ice.
Living on Pluto.
Temperature can drop to minus 223 degrees Celsius. That's minus 387 degrees.
Okay, so in Pluto, it is very, very cold. It's minus. Temperature is minus.
Pluto takes around 248 Earth years to orbit around the Sun once.
Okay, how many years that it's orbit around the Sun? The Pluto? Children? Pluto.
248.
Okay, wait down. So Pluto orbits around the Sun for 248 Earth years around the Sun. Okay.
So on
Is it
Pluto, your first birthday would be when you were 248 years old. Whoa, that's old. All this makes Pluto a really super dwarf planet.
Okay, so that's the
You
fact,
could be
a
a
little
toy.
bit facts about Pluto, children. So we're just going to get a little bit video about each dwarf planet so that you will not be bored. Okay. Now we're going to have Makimake or Makimake. Wow, why is it a song? Okay, so we're going to have this one a little bit long video. Uh-oh. So,
Number 9. What is Makimake? Given the rather odd name for the object, you'd be forgiven for not knowing exactly what this entity is on its title alone. It's a dwarf planet and possibly one of the biggest in our solar system. Along with fellow planets Pluto, Eris, and Haumea, it is located in the Kuiper Belt, a region outside the orbit of Neptune. Slightly smaller than Pluto, Makimake is the second brightest object in the Kuiper Belt as seen from Earth, while Pluto is the brightest. This particular planet holds an important place in the history of solar system studies because it, along with Eris, was one of the objects who prompted the International Astronomical Union to reconsider the definition of a planet and to create the new group of dwarf planets, of which Pluto would be demoted from a full planet to a dwarf planet, leaving many to wonder what would have happened if this particular set of objects were never discovered at all. Would Pluto still be a planet today? The dwarf planet was named after the rabbit of fertility. If you don't know, these are the people who lived
Okay, so
on Easter
Makimake
Island.
got his name from...
Number 8. The discovery. Makimake was discovered on March 31st, 2005 by a team at the Palomar Observatory.
Uy. Okay, so Makimake got his name from a goddess also. Like the other planets, they are... Okay, the planets in the solar system got their name from goddess or gods and goddesses children. From Roman in Greek, gods and goddesses. Okay, so now here we go. So it was discovered. When was it was discovered, children?
Observatory, led by Michael E. Brown, and was announced to the public in July of 2005.
When was
The
Makimake
team
was
planned to delay
discovered,
announcing their
children?
In 205.
2005. Okay, in 2005. It was discovered in 2005.
further observations and calculations were complete, but announced them both on July 29th when the discovery of another large object they had been tracking, Haumea, was controversially announced on July 27th by a different
Okay,
team
what
in
is the
Spain.
shape of
There was a
Haumea?
bit of a fight over this, but
Children, what is the shape of Haumea? It's the shape of Haumea, children.
An egg.
It's yes, an egg shape or oval. Okay.
that's another story entirely. Despite its relative brightness, it is about a fifth as bright as Pluto. Makimake was not discovered until after many much fainter, which no doubt struck the team finding it as odd, among other things. Most searches for minor planets are conducted relatively close to the ecliptic, the region of the sky that the sun, moon, and planets appear to lie in as seen from Earth. Due to the greater likelihood of finding objects there, it probably escaped detection during the earlier surveys due to its relatively high orbital inclination, and the fact that it was at its farthest distance from the ecliptic at the time of its discovery, in the northern constellation of Coma Berenices. Besides Pluto, Makimake is the only other dwarf planet that was bright enough that Clyde Tombaugh could have detected during his search for trans-Neptunian planets around 1930. At the order of Taurus and Auriga, and an apparent
This one you cannot understand. We're just going to have the Makimake as the song, children. Because it is so fast in talking, and only I think Sophia and who else can understand that one. Anybody? Did you understand about it? Lau? Lau?
Huh.
Did you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. I know you understand. But how about the others? Did you understand, children? Okay, so Makimake was discovered in 2005, children. 2005 or 2006?
2005.
2005, very good. Okay, so we're going to have this one, just a moment. We're just going to have this one. It would be easier for you to understand. Okay. Okay, so Makimake can be found in the Kuiper belt. Okay, so Makimake can be found in the Kuiper belt. Okay, so this one is the Makimake children. Here we go. So it says in here, this one is a song. So we're just going to remove the voice, the sound. Oh, what's happening? Coming in.
Beyond the orbit,
Okay, so it was discovered by. Okay, so it was discovered by. What's happening to this one? Okay, there you go. So it was discovered by Makimake was discovered by. I'm so sorry. What's happening with this one? Okay, so it was discovered by Michael Brown. Okay, in 2005. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to make it fast. There you go. It was first observed in 2005. Makimake was first observed in 2005, and they originally called this one as FY9. FY9 children. So next, we're going to move on. Name for the Rapanoi, god of fertility. FY9, and then they change it to Makimake. Okay, so the surface is covered with methane ice. Methane ice. And it is the second brightest in the outer solar system, which can be seen in Earth, children. There's the Easter bunny. So Makimake have a moon, children. So Makimake have a moon, and it's a tiny dark spot. We call this one as MK2. MK2. We're not going to have the sound, children, because it keeps on buffering. Here you go, this one. It is a reddish brown. It's the color if you display this one. It's a reddish brown. Okay. I will just going to replay the song so that you can hear it. Wow. Okay. Now we're going to move on with Iris. I don't know what's happening. We're just going to have the song.
Eris, you're a dwarf, named for the Greek goddess of discord. Discovered in 2005.
When was Ceres was discovered, children?
2005.
Okay, 2005. Same as
Make.
okay, same as make or makimake.
You're heavy on Pluto.
Okay, so Eris is heavier than Pluto, though it is smaller in size. Okay, so it has a moon called, what do you call the moon of Eris, children? What's happening to this one? It keeps on going to the other. Okay, so it has one moon. It has one moon called Allah. It has one moon called, just a moment, children. I don't know what's happening to this one. It keeps on going to the other. Okay, there you go. We're just going to let it go.
Number 2 dwarf in size, first in mass was really alright.
Beyond the Kuiper Belt, where the sun barely fell, your name is Aries. You have a super cold surface, -231 degrees Celsius.
Eris, your orbit's long, 500.
Okay, how many years that it goes around the sun? Children. How many years does it orbit around the sun?
560 years.
Okay, 560 years. Okay, so we're going to have the fact about Eris. Okay, so Eris was discovered in 2005, same as Makimake. Okay, so it is also a cold planet. Also a cold planet, and it takes 560 years to orbit around the sun. It is found also in the Kuiper Belt. Do you understand, children? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you get closer to the sun.
And I forgot, it has one moon. It has a moon also like Makimake. Okay?
It's to fall.
The place where you live is called Ceres. Your name is Aries.
Yeah, you make your home where the icy minor planets roll.
You're smaller than Earth's moon. You're called a trans-Neptunian object.
Okay, so same as Pluto. Same as Pluto, Eris is smaller than our moon also. So it's not too big. Eris is not big. Okay, but then though Eris is smaller than our moon, like Pluto, Eris is heavier than Pluto, children. It is heavier than Pluto.
Scientists think that you made a rock. You're hanging out in the most distant spot. All the asteroids in the Kuiper Belt can fit inside your dwarf planet itself. You're super cold all night and day because you're 8 billion miles away from the sun. Yeah, Eris, you're the one. And it's been fun.
Okay, so Eris is 8 billion miles away from the sun. That's why it's very cold, children. Okay, so we're done with Eris. We're going to move on with another planet. So that we're just going to finish this one. Supposedly, we're not going to stay long in here. Okay, next we're going to have Ceres. We have Eris, we have Ceres, children. Okay. We have the forgotten history about Ceres. Okay, just a minute. Are you okay in there? Are you okay?
Okay.
Okay. Here you go. Nah, all about the moon. Ceres, the forgotten planet. Why is it forgotten planet? What happened? It is now forgotten because it's all black. This is bad. Okay, there you go.
And Pluto was removed from the list of planets in 2006. It was the largest change to the way we saw the solar system that
Most
that
people
most people had
seen at
seen in their
times.
lifetimes. Few people realized that something similar had happened before, more than 150 years earlier, when another planet was removed from the ranks.
Okay, so Makimake
In
before
the
what?
year 1800, the solar system as we knew it contained only 7 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus. In 1801, an Italian priest named Giuseppe Piazzi discovered an object between Mars and Jupiter. The way that it moved made everyone believe that he had discovered a planet, and he named it Ceres, after the Roman goddess of agriculture.
Okay, now here we go. We have Ceres. It was named after a Roman goddess of agriculture. Ceres. Okay.
Soon afterward, however, more objects in the asteroid belt were discovered. At first, these were called planets too. Eventually, so many objects were discovered in the area that astronomers realized that Ceres and the other objects must be something new. They were named asteroids, a word meaning star-like, because they looked
Okay,
like
so
small
before
stars through
they were named as asteroids. Okay, so the dwarf planets. Okay, so was named asteroids. Okay, seems like a star. Children, next in here is star-like because they look like small.
meaning star-like, because they looked like small stars through telescopes.
There you go.
Ceres was removed from the official list of planets after about 50 years as the 5th planet from the Sun.
Okay, see before, like Pluto,
This was
Ceres was one of the planets also, but it was removed. That's why Ceres as the forgotten planet, children. So because like Pluto, it was removed from the planets. Why?
not the last time that Ceres would be renamed. In 2006, when astronomers were trying to decide whether Pluto should still be called a planet, some people suggested that if Pluto was a planet, Ceres should be too.
Okay.
Instead, Pluto and Ceres were both given a new name: Dwarf Planet. Ceres is the largest object in the asteroid belt, and the asteroid belt to be recognized as a dwarf planet. It is also
Okay, so Ceres is the largest object in the asteroid belt in one of the dwarf planet. Okay, so children, we're just going to move
only
on
dwarf
to the
planet in
then.
the inner half of the solar system. After so many years as a forgotten planet, Ceres finally has a new name and a new place in our solar system.
Okay, so did you understand, children? Before Ceres was one of the planet, but then they removed Ceres, and Ceres was just like the thought Ceres was just like an asteroid in the solar system. But then in 2006, when Pluto was removed from the 9 planets, they thought that they're going to name Ceres also as one of the dwarf planets. That's why we have Pluto, Ceres, Makimake, and that last one, children. The last one, known 5 dwarf planet. What is the last one, children? Anybody?
Eris.
No, we're done with Iris, Ceres, Makimake, Pluto, in the other one. The last one that we did not tackle. Haumea. Okay, Haumea. Okay, that is the last one that we did not tackle, children. Okay, so did you understand? Yes or no? Yes or no, children? Did you understand our lesson for today? I'm so sorry if we have to remove the sounds of some of the videos, and sometimes we have to find a little bit more shorter video, because if I'm going to play a little bit longer video, maybe I am sure the others cannot understand, because the language that is used is a little bit deep English language. Okay, so it is not in basic language. Okay, so did you understand our lesson for today? Maybe I will just going to present to you next time PowerPoint for the dwarf planet. Though I have, but if I'm just going to present to you just a PowerPoint without video, I am sure you cannot understand. I'm just going to talk, right? I know that Sophia and Focus One can follow in the others, but mostly some cannot. Okay. So children, for your worksheet in this lesson, we're just going to check, children. So we have here mini English program for the science. In here, worksheet 1. Your worksheet is in the solar system. And for your worksheet 2, we have here in the galaxy. Okay. Is this your worksheet that I have given to you? Just a moment, children. I will just going to show it. This one. Is this one? Children, is this your worksheet for this lesson?
Yeah.
The Milky Way?
Yes.
Okay. So, have you had the copy for this one? The copy for this one? A galaxy is a huge collection of stars, gas, dust, and other material. Did you have this copy?
Yes.
Okay. So, the answer is in this copy also, children. So, it would not be too hard for you to answer your worksheet. Am I right? Can you follow? Can you follow? So the first one is a galaxy is a blank of stars, gas, and other materials. Okay, so the answer is in here. There you go. It can be easily found because it's already been underlined for you. Can you follow, children? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so okay, so that's all for today's, children. See you again on Monday. Enjoy your long weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, teacher.
Bye-bye.
My
Thank
pleasure,
you,
children.
Bye-bye. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.